have Mike Hamel back on the show now, who will be fighting next on December the 3rd at Bellator 272. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. And I want to get this right out of the way. Obviously, we talked a little bit about it before we went live, but Thanksgiving was yesterday, so I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving with this, fight being right around the corner and weight cut week. How is that, during a holiday when you're trying to stay good and not, gorge on foods? Well, what is that normally like for you?
It's not a big deal, man. I mean, you gotta think too. I've been wrestling since I was pretty much could walk. So I've never really had a great Thanksgiving or Christmas, honestly, until I started fighting. Like, it just kind of depends where my holiday falls off or where my fights come off. But yeah, it's not a big deal for me to miss Thanksgiving. My grandma was a little sassy with me yesterday. She's a little Filipino lady and wants everybody to eat. So she doesn't quite understand why I can't eat, which is weird. She seen me wrestle. Her kids wrestled, so I don't know.
What did you eat? Like what, I mean, tell me what it would be like for you typically when you're coming right into a weight cutting week.
So pretty much yesterday, the carbs started getting cut down. So I made a smoked turkey that I made for my family, brined it for a few days, and put some good rubs and stuff on that. So I had just a bunch of turkey really and some veggies. That was about it.
What do you weigh today? Are you pretty close to 155?
Yeah, I'm good. Me making 55 isn't like it was trying to make 145. Making 145 was a nightmare, and I had to be on a schedule 2 months out. No break, no cheat meals, nothing like that. 55 isn't too bad. I'm in the 60s already, so
Very
that's
good.
I used to lose 10 to 15 the night before when I was making 45. So the fact that I'm in the 60s now that's easy.
Yeah, that would be brutal to lose that much the night before a fight. Well, tell me, man, how has camp been thus far? We're coming right to the end of it right now. I assume you're still out at the lab.
Yeah. So I'm still out at the lab, and I don't see that changing ever. I'll always be there. I got a good relationship with all our coaches and our team. It's like a family to me. Camp went good. Camp, I don't know. It's just nothing really changes except picking up my conditioning and watching what I eat. At the lab we don't really have fight camps. We're always in there training, helping other people get ready for fights. If I've got 3 different 55ers helping me out during my camp, it'd be pretty unfair of me and douchey of me not to come back and help them get ready for theirs. So we're always in the gym doing stuff.
Who have been some of the main training partners for this? I won't say camp, this time period leading up to the fight.
Yeah. So one of our up and coming pros, uh, Moses Diaz, he's tough as nails, man. You got to be on the lookout for him. He helped me out a little bit, and then Benson Henderson's always in there. Me and him we're about sick of each other. I think at this point in our careers, we've given each other so many different looks, but he's always a great partner. He switched his stance up for me and did things that this guy's gonna do. So it was awesome, man.
How much longer do you see Benson competing for before he maybe retires and goes into coaching or something? Do you feel like he's still going to be around for a while?
He's, you know, I don't know actually. It's one day it'll be different with him. He really wants to get that 155-pound belt back, and we're doing everything around the gym to help him get that. And so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
All right, fair enough. Well, the last time that we did speak was right before Bellator 255. That fight didn't obviously go your way against Usman or Magomedov. Looking back at that one now, like what can you do to, if you were to face him again, get the W? Well, like, what are you taking away from that fight?
Well, so if you go back and watch all his fights before me, he fights everybody orthodox. And he does certain things orthodox well, and he does certain things from the southpaw stance well. And so my whole camp, we were working on him being orthodox. Came out there, fought me southpaw the whole time. It messed with my mind a little bit, and it shouldn't have. I'm a stronger competitor than that, and I'm more mentally strong than to let a stance switch seem like it's the end of the world for me. But with that being said, you got to be ready for anything in there. I forget who. I think it was against Edson Barbosa. Kevin Lee was fighting him, and Barbosa beat up his leg early, and he had to fight out of an opposite stance for like 2, 3, 4 more rounds, you know, so that shit happens all the time. And one thing I took away from it was he's human. I could see in his eyes in the third round, he didn't want to be in there with me anymore once he realized he wasn't going to put me away. So yeah, I don't think, I mean, I obviously got to address some kicks. I got to learn how to close the range better without getting hit so much. I tend to get hit with a lot more shots than I'd like to. I'm kind of just a bull in there. I like to walk forward and see who the tougher guy is. So technically I got to do some things different, but I think if that was a 5-round fight, I would have broke him. I wasn't slowing down and he was.
Do you feel with, a fight against Nurmagomedov, I mean, Khabib's name, it carries so much weight, and being related to him, even that carries weight. Did you feel that, just, there in the arena or the lead up to the fight, did that mess with your head at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because like I said, I think in our previous interview, I wasn't fighting Khabib. So it didn't matter what his cousin does. And he's tough. He's gone out there and he's finished the next 2 dudes that he's fought. So being his Bellator debut, and one of the judges, I think all of them should have stinking given it to me, but I think I won that third round, so you look at the scorecard, 29-28, it wasn't a beating by any means,
Are you hoping that maybe you do get a rematch down the line with him?
Yeah, I see us both on the trajectory to go either fighting each other for a title eliminator or a belt one day, but that's probably going to be years down the road. Either he has the belt or I have it, and that's when we'll meet again.
Okay, good enough. Well, after that fight, you went and you got a UD win over Bryce Logan at Bellator 265. You pleased with the performance? Anything you can take away from that win?
I wasn't really that pleased with the performance. I got tired, which I never really gas during fights. Like, that's kind of my thing. And I don't know if I'd had COVID like 2 months before it. I don't know if that had something to do with it. I just felt like I didn't recover during rounds like I normally do, or really that whole camp. I was kind of feeling a cardio idue. And that's not an excuse. I said yes to the fight. I signed the dotted line, but I did some things well. I didn't ride on top as well as I normally do when I get on top of somebody, which I haven't actually been able to show in the Bellator cage. It's something I'm looking forward to showing probably this next fight, but I'm a hammer on top, and I didn't have the gas tank to commit to it. And so, yeah, I'm happy that I got my first win. I needed to get that out of the way mentally. I needed to know that I belonged in that cage, which I did. I knew that, but until you get your hand raised in there, it's different. But yeah, so I'm not pleased with the performance, but I'm happy that I got the debut. You're always going to be happy with that. And I got a new contract out of it, so I can't be too upset.
Very good. Is it a 4-fight deal? What's the details of it?
Got a 3-fight deal.
Okay, awesome. And I did want to just circle back to, when you had COVID, what were your side effects that you had from that? I've heard a lot of athletes that have gotten COVID say that it just crushes their lungs. And you were talking about how, it affected, or you at least felt like your cardio wasn't where it needs to be. Is that pretty much what you felt when you actually had COVID?
Yeah. So I got COVID. I was actually about to leave for a wedding and came back from a trip for my buddy's 30th birthday, and was a little bit hungover, and so I thought that was it. And then I started getting a fever, like a bad fever. Like I couldn't stop sweating, but I was hot, cold, So I was like, oh shit, I should probably check my temperature. Check my temperature. I was at like 103. Got up all the way to 104. But then it was literally like 12 hours of misery, and then I was done. And then I felt like a normal person. I was like, I probably started working out too soon. I got bored being in quarantine, and I got a bike out in my backyard, and I was like, I should probably go jump on that and not be such a lazy piece of shit, sit here watch Netflix all day. So yeah, maybe I started working out too hard, but I just felt like I could never get to 100%, right? Like I'm on the Airdyne, and I felt like I could only get to like 80% capacity, and I'm not feeling that anymore. And really, I didn't think I was feeling it as bad as I was until I got in that fight. So I don't know. I switched some things up this camp. I upped my cardio again. Like you're not going to see me tank this fight.
What did you do to up your cardio? Are you just doing more running, or is there anything else that you're doing to really make sure you have that dialed in?
Wrestling a little harder. So a lot of the times in our practices, it ends up turning into live, and I'll sit on top of somebody for a while. So not being comfortable in practice, pretty much. Like I'm comfortable on top. I don't breathe as hard. So making make my partners get up and get takedown after takedown. You know, I should be able to go in there and get 20 takedowns and not feel it. You know, so I did that. Added an extra strength and conditioning day. So I think that was important to me. But no, I haven't ran honestly in like 3 years. I had hip surgery and I had a cracked femur, and it doesn't ever give me issues unless I run.
Mm.
So I think I run like a drunk duck. Like I'm pigeon-toed and my legs go out all side. Like it's not a pretty sight seeing me run. And so I think that's part of why I have the pain that I have after I run. So I just do all the other things. You know, I get on the skier, get on the rower, get on the airdyne. We make sure we spar hard at the gym. So I get my cardio in plenty of other ways.
All right. Oh, what a great analogy, a drunk duck. I'm going to have to steal that one moving forward. That's great. All right. So December 3rd, Bellator 272, right around the corner. I'll be here before you know it. When do you actually fly out and leave for the Mohegan Sun?
Yeah. So I leave the butt crack of dawn on Sunday morning. They fly us out at like 7 a.m. and long day of travel. So I pretty much get in late Sunday night, wake up, do a COVID test.
And then you just quarantine? Like, do you have to quarantine for an X amount of time while you're there? And then
they quarantine us the whole time we're waiting on our results if you're not vaccinated. And so while we're waiting on results, I got to be quarantined. And then after that, it's pretty much you can only go to the workout area. Or I think, I mean, they were a lot more lax with us in South Dakota, so I'd assume it's kind of the same. It's even later on. They let us go to restaurants last time. But the Mohegan Sun, have you ever been out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So it's like I'm not gonna go get in an Uber and drive 30 miles to town. Like I'll just unpack. I'll smoke some salmon and chicken for the trip. So I don't really gotta go out to eat too much. So I'll bring all the stuff I need with me.
Okay, very good. And your opponent, Killys Mota, you know, he's 12-2. It's a good name, man. A win over him definitely takes you to that next step here. Stylistically, what kind of a fight do you think you're going to get come fight night?
So I always watch these guys, and you know, like you watch Nurmagomedov, he wrestles everybody. He tried one shot against me. So it's like I get in these ideas where I'm like, I hope they turn it into a wrestling match. And Killys Mota does the same thing. The moment you start touching him, he's getting body locks, he's getting trips, he wants to be on top. Like you can tell that's where he's comfortable. Even though he's got good striking, he's got nasty calf kicks, he throws a good overhand right. You know, he does all these things, but you can tell that he likes to wrestle and he likes to be on top and do his jiu-jitsu stuff. So I could see him coming out and wanting to wrestle me, but who knows? He could just run away and try to make it a point fight the whole time. Like I said, I'm not going to carry too much weight on these things anymore. I learned that in the Nurmagomedov fight.
Do you feel like, I mean, a win is really all that matters, right, at the end of the day, but do you feel like, you know, getting your hand raised via knockout or submission is kind of what you're looking for? Do you feel like maybe you need that to really just kind of put a stamp on yourself in the division?
Yeah, I'd sneak and love to get a finish. No one likes to be in there for 15 minutes grinding it out, you know. And I've had 3 wars in there. You know, my Borix fight was, I think John McCarthy said it was the 4th fight of 2020. You know, my Nurmagomedov fight was a real tough, grindy one. My Bryce Logan one was tough. You know, I've been in there, and you know, and you can say Bryce is probably the worst guy I fought in there, and he's an LFA champ. He's good. You know, he fought Georgie to a split decision. He's a tough guy. So yeah, for me to go out there against a guy like Killys Mota and get a finish, I think it really shows that I'm a threat in this division. And I'm not just gonna go out there and get decision after decision after decision.
Do you get the finish? What is your official prediction?
Yeah, you know, I've watched him fight before, and I think he cuts a lot of weight to make 155. That's why he's been up at 70. And I know from previous experience, it doesn't matter how good a shape you're in. If you cut weight that drastically, his cardio is going to be an issue. And like I said, I'm not slowing down in there. I could see me breaking him in the 3rd. He's got quit in him. I just got to bring it out.
All right, man.
Whether that means he gets or I start raining down thunder on him, he's going to break, and I just got to give him a reason to.
I can't wait for this one. I definitely marking my calendars. I'll be sitting right in my man cave watching it on TV. Again, December 3rd, Bellator 272. Mike Hamel meets Killys Mota. Always a pleasure talking to you, man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media. And if there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Yep. So you can follow me at Magic Mike _ MMA on Instagram, not the 145. Somebody hacked me. So it's the MMA now. Follow that one. As far as sponsors go, big shout out to Extreme Endurance, or not Extreme Endurance, X Endurance. They've been supplying me for a couple years now. Their products are clean, all third party tested. They're great. And some local companies back here, Arizona IV Medics, get that mobile IV when you're feeling depleted, sick, or maybe just a little hungover. Always go and jump on that. But besides that, I just hope you guys tune in. It's a fight you don't want to sleep on.